All right, so Pepper's Ghost is an old circus trick as far as I know, and nobody's really sure of the origins of this idea. But the first use of it was to create ghostly images by taking a piece of glass and putting it at a 45-degree angle toward the audience and projecting an image or having an object or an actor sit underneath the stage with a bright light on him. And the light would reflect off of this piece of glass, and the audience could see this reflection. But they could also see the stuff behind it, so it would make a person look like he was a ghost. So back in the day, there'd be these like coffin-like holes cut in a stage, and actors in them, you know, acting with lights on them from both sides and a piece of glass over it. And when you sit in the audience, you see just this ghostly person. Looks like they're standing up. It's actually laying down, but it looks like they're standing up. So the modern version of what we're doing with Pepper's Ghost is utilizes video projectors. So we're creating a CGI image of a character on a black background. We're using a video projector to project it onto a screen that's transparent. So the screen reflects the light from the projector, and that light combines with the light coming from the objects from behind the screen, so to the audience it looks like there's a thing floating there. And if we're clever enough, and we can do clever lighting in the computer model that matches the lighting on the stage, the character won't look translucent, they'll look like they're really there. My day job is computational holography. That's what I do. As a physicist, my team and I engage in the sport of attempting to compress 3 dimensions into 2 and create devices that can replicate super realistic looking objects and things out of nothing. This is what a real hologram does. It's kind of a magical device. Unfortunately, it's such a magical device that the word hologram has almost ceased to have any meaning. All right? It's like listening to Beatles music or the word Kleenex, or in England the word Hoover. It's like doesn't mean anything anymore. And the reason is that it's so cool, it's so incredible to be able to look at like a device, like a flat plane or a table, and see a realistic object stick out of it. And we see this all over the place in movies and television shows, everywhere. It's the thing everybody seems to want, and as a result, people have tried every possible way to hack it. You know, glasses, you can go see 3D movies, you know, different types of hacks with smoke and gels and different little lights that light up in different directions, and cameras that track where your head is and change the image so that it seems to change as if there's real stuff in front of you. And if you've tried any of these technologies, you know they end up giving you a headache. They don't really look real. The resolution is weird. They squiggle or something in front of you, right? Now, a real hologram is a little bit of magic that can exactly record what's called a light field, which is not only the colors of that you see of light reflected off of an object, but actually the directions they came from and the direction they're going. And that's what makes you able to see something as being real, and lets you see depth, and lets you feel like the thing is really there, okay? Because it looks exactly like the light that would reflect off of a real thing. A hologram can do that. These hacks have a hard time doing that. They always break down in some kind of way. They don't have resolution, or they don't update fast enough, or things blink or flicker, or they are really loud, or they require smoke in the room, or you know, something. There's always some kind of thing. A real hologram requires none of these things. But the problem is that currently with our technology, a real hologram is an incredibly difficult thing to make. It's difficult to make even in a static sense. It's very hard to make it animate. Now, a static hologram can be so indistinguishable from the object that it's representing that it causes some people to get actually angry. I've shown holograms to people and had them punch the hologram because they're so mad at the kind of like psychological problem that it creates, that their senses are telling them it's a real apple sitting there. And they go to touch it and it's not there. It's just a piece of glass, and they can look behind the glass and there's no apple there, but when they look at it, it's an apple there. And one guy broke a hologram because it made him enraged to see this. That's how realistic it actually is. And it's interesting because you can move your head around it and look all around the object, see under it and around it. It doesn't need a computer. It's a piece of glass. The hologram itself, because it's a real hologram, recreates all of those effects that you expect to see from a real object. All right, these hack versions of that don't. They need computers and tricks and processors and smoke and God knows what in order to be able to do it. The reason that our Feynman lecture isn't a hologram is because it's just a projection. So we're calling it a Feynman projection. Okay, a real hologram wouldn't be an appropriate technology to use to do this. Okay, The appropriate technology used to do this, I think, is the thing that we're doing right now, which is basically to make like a super movie. Okay, we're going to be showing basically a movie of Feynman, but it's going to be rendered in real time, meaning it's going to be rendered like a video game, a super high resolution video game character. And as he walks around on the stage, whatever lights are on the stage are going to be present in the virtual lighting system. So he'll walk around and the lighting on him will change as if he was really on stage. Okay, so this is why I say it's like a super movie, because when he moves around, all of the cues that you expect that make things seem real are going to be there. Plus, because it's rendered live, he can pause and stop and change his behavior according to the audience reaction, right? So it can run a little bit like a video game character, but all driven by the motion capture performance. Okay, so this is really like a super movie where we've taken a talented animation team, talented motion capture artists, and created a performance from actual audio of Richard Feynman. And we're showing it in a way so that you can experience it as if he is on stage. But it's a super movie, it's not a hologram.